How are we completely missing this? Just the pure perfection of this. The childlike awe and wonder and bliss and innocence and peace and play. Simply this. The main culprit is time. What is 2021? It's 4 symbols. Completely irrelevant. You could make 4 alternative squiggly lines and put them next to each other, and as long as we as a collective hallucinate that that is the year that it is, then that would simply be that year. Recognize the anchor that is time, that is holding you back from realizing non-duality. This one is just so salient. It's plastered all over our culture all the time. There's a clock on your phone. There's a clock on your computer. There's a clock that's in your living room. There's a clock that's on your stove. There's a calendar that you use that has little time slots and little dates that are completely arbitrary. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday are completely arbitrary symbols that we use to describe the quote days in a quote week, which are again completely arbitrary. Even though the earth spins on its axis and we go, that's a day, and it makes one orbit around the sun, that's a year. This is to say that they do have use. It is useful to schedule a 3 o'clock meeting with somebody and be there at that specific time. They have use. But our culture is absolutely indoctrinated into thinking that they are real when they are an illusion. This is the problem. Which again, in non-duality, there are no problems. It is all perfect. But this is the biggest anchor holding people back from realizing non-duality, realizing the diamond necklace that is already around their neck, realizing simply this happening now, and the perfection, and the childlike innocence and bliss and wonder and peace and play in this now. So recognize that this now can be colored with all different types of symbols that then make it have meaning. So you can throw any other 4 symbols together, ZQPB. That means this year. And then ZQPC is the next year. And that's when you start getting it. That's when you're like, okay, I see how absolutely irrelevant and arbitrary and illusory time is. And then you recognize that that's very similar about your biological, quote, finitude. I am born and I die. No, again, a big illusion. You are eternal. This is eternal. The formlessness continues to appear eternally, assuming all different appearances of forms, with appearances of names. So as you withdraw yourself more and more from the layers of identity that you have with your egoic, separate sugar cube, it dissolves more and more into the oceanic non-duality. All of what we're doing right now is we're using language. Language in itself is just communication vibration. It's just a vibration that is coming out of me and into you through this medium. And then there's another language, which is Mandarin. If they haven't studied English, then they don't understand these communication vibrations. Since we haven't studied Mandarin, then we don't understand their communication vibrations. So once you begin also identifying that language in itself is also simply different communication vibrations, and that we are just using those communication vibrations to, quote, communicate with one another. Because again, we want to meet with somebody at 3 o'clock. Okay, got it. But when you recognize that you could easily just be going like, and that in itself is also a communication vibration. And that all you need is somebody else on the other side of that understands what meaning that means. And they get that and they communicate back to you in that language. And that's why you have things like, you have the sign languages as well, right? You have that. And that should be a big hint, is if you can use this gesticulation language that's not even vibratory, that's a massive hint as well at the, quote, the illusion of all of these, quote, descriptors that describe what this dream is. And we use these languages, whether they're vibratory or they're gesticulatory. And so once you begin also getting that, in a sense, a good amount of silence also just lands. Quantum mechanics is in itself such a profound revelation. All is no thing / energy. Einstein and so many of the greats, there is no matter. It's energy. Formlessness appearing. formlessness appearing. Formlessness appearing. And everything being energetic also gives us deep insight into the expression that this formlessness expresses. Because energetically, when this formlessness expresses the truth of the absolute highest morality, of that love and that bliss and that play and that peace and that unity, what ends up happening is that butterfly effects out energetically. Whereas when there's a egoic separate entity, butterflying affecting out negativity, malevolence, greed, conspicuous consumption. So life is both an illusion, a dream, and formlessness appearing. And it's also beautiful. It's also perfect. It's unconditionally free. And it's unconditionally love. It's absolutely anarchic. There's no determination. And this is what the seeker hates. The seeker hates hearing things like that there's nothing to seek because it's already absolutely perfect. And with true simultaneity, that is both true, as well as if you are an egoic, contracted, separate entity that is suffering, there is the path that enables that sugar cube to dissolve into non-duality. You can call that self-realization, God-realization, recognizing one infinite creator, recognizing eternity, recognizing the absolute, recognizing formlessness, becoming more and more agentless, even transcending the experiencer, the I am and the self, becoming more and more agentless and attributeless. And this is why it's called an eternal fireworks. The more that we surf the crest of that eternal presence, simply now, the more we see it and experience it as a fireworks. We see it and experience it as a dream, as an illusion, but it's as a beautiful fireworks. The beauty in the mic, the beauty in the camera, the beauty in the audience, the beauty in the message, the beauty in the oxygen, the beauty in our heartbeats, the beauty in the food on the table, the beauty in the water that we drink, the beauty in the shelter over our head. Although it's formlessness appearing, we recognize that, and we recognize the beauty of that eternal fireworks. That's again more true simultaneity. That true simultaneity is a massive key at the pinnacle of the mountaintop. You can watch that episode on true simultaneity that we just published on our channel as well. So melt your world down to the wind. The very wind itself is the essence of the nature of reality. Melt your world down to the wind. Surrender to the effortless action, to the wu wei. Surrender to that perfection. Ask yourself, what at this moment is lacking? What at this moment is lacking? It's not possible. It's nothing that could be lacking right now. Something that's whole, something that's perfect, something that's already completely free and unconditionally love cannot have anything lacking. Recognize that you are that. I am that. We are that. That is us. We are it. How many more of the perennial wisdoms across the spiritual mystic traditions have to point to the exact same thing, colored differently? Tat Tvam Asi. I and my Father are one. Wadat al Wujud. The Tao. Brahman. God. Source. Infinity. One infinite creator. Non-duality. The universe, the multiverse, the universal wave function. How many more ways do we have to describe the same one end explained in different colors, different paths, different faces of the mountain? We're just completely missing the simple now, the simple this, and the truth that is in the this, the simplicity of it. And seekers and scientists and ego hates how simple it is. It's already all perfect. And the more that you melt your world down to the wind, the more that you live from that place of non-duality, the more that you live from that place of childlike bliss, childlike peace, childlike innocence, childlike joy, wonder, awe. And you're surrendered to that wind. Again, there's an effortless action that's channeling through. So that even these, quote, sustainable development goals and new planetary architectures are coming through, channeling through effortlessly to be architected for more abundance, more prosperity, more flourishing, more well-being. It's not to say we don't recognize that duality and that dichotomy between suffering and well-being. It's to say that there's a natural flow from the non-dual wisdom that channels through towards those architectures of what is more prosperous. And that's what's known as the middle path. That's what's known as the middle way. That's what's known as the Goldilocks zone, as the tantric tradition, as Sahaja Samadhi. It's when you weave your profound non-dual realizations into the social fabric, and that's just a natural occurrence, an effortless action. Once the diamond necklace is recognized to be already around the neck, simply this. And it's not just the now. It's not just the now, which is this happening, but it's all that's surrounding the now. How many components go into that surrounding of the now? Your now is enabled by the photosynthesis of the phytoplankton in the trees because you're taking these 20,000 inhales a day. So there's this deep gratitude to the planetary harmonic interconnectedness and interdependence. And so there's that wisdom that comes through to ensure that the ecological frameworks of the planet are robust and healthy, anti-fragile, prosperous. What else is surrounding the now? There's the roof that's over your head. Who built the roof that's over your head? The gratitude for those that built the roof that's over your head. Again, formlessness appearing, but the gratitude for it, for the fireworks, the food that's in the fridge right now. What farmers grew the food? What people transited here for you to be able to purchase it? What is surrounding the now? As you walk over to the fridge, what is the now? The now is your breaths. It is your ability to move your, quote, physical form. That your body is in good enough of shape to do so. The recognition as you open the fridge that there is electricity that is coming from the grid that has been powering the refrigeration. All of that is surrounding the now. And that's just in the simplicity of the home. Similarly, at an entire planetary level, like we described with photosynthesis, or like we described with geopolitics, like we described with the 100 billion humans that have lived and died before today, that have built the infrastructures that enable the now to be so abundant and prosperous. The fact that we have these microphones, these cameras, these computers, these cell phones, this ability to disseminate this content on this media platform. What is surrounding the now? Take yourself into this deep time perspective to understand what is all surrounding the now, to have more and more gratitude, more and more childlike bliss and awe and wonder and peace and innocence. To just relax back. And recognize this happening. Simply this. And how it's being completely missed due to these anchors. The anchor of time, these 4 symbols, 2021. The anchor of languages. Stay more silent and more will be revealed to you. Become more conscious of your breath as well, and more will be revealed. The illusion of form and how quantum mechanics reveals that all is no thing, all is energy. It is both that appearance, the formlessness appearing as the illusion, yet simultaneously we have the beauty of the fireworks to have that childlike innocence, wonder, awe, bliss, and peace to play. Melt your world down to the wind. Down to the wind. Deep gratitude, not just for the now, but all that's surrounding the now. All is already indescribably perfect, yet it remains for you to recognize it. At an experiential level. Pierce the veil in the dream. And less will completely miss this. The perfection of this. Thank you for tuning in. If you found the video valuable, give it a like. If you haven't yet, subscribe. Let me know how you feel in the comments below on the video. I'd love to hear from you. Share the video with people that you feel would be positively influenced by it. And I love you. Thank you.